something.
Yeah. You need a cat or
I
a
need a cat.
dog.
Actually, the reason why I'm not getting comfortable is because my cat was on here. This is Sorsha's new favorite spot. I don't know why. I think she's rebelling against the foster kitten being in the house. But like, yeah, I feel like everything is not in the right place. Anyway, doesn't matter.
All good. It's all
Yeah.
good. We're here now. We're
We're
here
here
and we're
now.
live. We're
And little
live.
foster kitten may pop by because he's I got, well, my sister actually went, but we got him vaccinated. So
Hmm.
he can now be in Gen Pop. And he is possibly walking around. So it'd be kind of cool if little man came.
That will be
Um,
lovely. We'll get to see him finally.
yeah, we'll get to see him
Are we
finally.
sure
And,
it's a him? Are we sure it's
huh?
a him? Are we sure it's a boy
It's a
or
boy.
what's?
Yeah. No, he's a boy, and his name is Pixel Twitch, and his DJ name is Sir Discord. Discord. Excuse me. So he just, because he has like, he's a tuxedo cat, and his nose is black, but then he has like this irregular looking white patch of fur, and it looks pixelated, like it looks like it's, yeah. So his name is Pixel. And therefore we hope that when he does get adopted, he'll be adopted by maybe a gamer, maybe a software developer,
Oh, that is adorable.
maybe a big nerd.
Yeah.
Hopefully a big nerd with another cat. So yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Great. So here we are. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. I'm Neha. I'm here today with Magda. And
Woohoo!
Magda is our guest today. The tables have turned.
How's
How
the
the
turntable?
tables. Oh gosh,
Shout
this is
out to Michael
great.
Pratt.
So today I get to chat with Magda about being the CEO of Coacharya. This is how we wanted to start 2022. We wanted to really look back a little bit at how, when we move to a new year, we reflect on what's happened so far, and then we move forward to what's in the future. So I mean, we all look forward to seeing you every week, Magda. We all
Yay!
want to. When you're not there and it's me, people are like, "Hey, where's Magda?" And I'm like, "Oh, thanks a lot." You know,
Rude.
I put on a headband for you, and you don't even. Oh, nobody cares. So, we want to know, Magda, who really are you behind the scenes, and what's your origin story, and yeah, because you are our superhero. You are our mascot. You are
Okay, mascot I will take.
yeah, and we need, superheroes are kind of just mascots, aren't they? In
That's
a
okay.
way,
I can be a superhero. I don't think I am, but I will be. I'm very, very happy to
you
pretend to be one on TV.
are. Yeah, so today actually it's not just me. I am definitely very curious about your origin story, and I've heard bits and pieces of it here and there. But I also asked the team to provide a couple of questions. So
Cool.
we've got a few questions from all of us, and I think it'll be really nice to just dig in and get to know you a little bit better, Magda. And I think
Let's do
since
it.
we are curious, I'm sure others watching are curious as well. So, so, um, I heard a little bit from you a while ago about how you moved to America and how you went to college. I would love for you to tell that story, just a little bit about how you figured out a way when there
Okay.
might have not been a way.
You maybe need to prompt me a little bit more which one, because part of getting to know me is I talk a lot and I never shut up. So I think I told you like a million stories. And you're like,
Yeah.
when you went to college, I'm like, oh my God, which one is it? Are you talking about? Yeah, what are
And
you talking
the
about?
is the scholarships. It's the how
Oh,
you yeah. Hmm.
sure. There's so many things. Yeah, so I moved to the US when I was 12, and my sister was 7, and We had to learn English and figure out all the stuff. Um, didn't have, a support network or money or anything like that. So my parents are pretty freaking phenomenal for figuring it out and giving us the opportunities in life that we, both my sister and I now have. So that's a super, super short version. But yeah, what you're talking about, I think, is reflective of who I am now and who I've always been, which is stubborn. I remember actually when I learned the word dogged, and I didn't know what it meant. And it was actually in the context of getting a 360 review. So it was my first experience in a corporate setting getting coached. And people gave the feedback that I was dogged. And I'm like, what does that mean? Like, it had the word dog in it. I'm like, this is great. So first of all, I thought it was something to do with dogs. Look, we're always learning. English is not my first language. Like it is now technically, but whatever. So the coach explained, he's like, oh, it means like, you're focused and you get what you want, and he's saying these words and I'm like, oh, this is great. He didn't mean it as this is great, but I took it as this is great because the phrases he used to describe what that word meant, those have served me very well. You asked me about this college story. I ended up, my last year of college, I ended up getting paid to go to university because I applied, not because I'm a genius or anything. Don't get me wrong. It's because I'm dogged, because I'm stubborn, because I refuse to give up when I feel like I can figure something out. So the thing I had to figure out is my parents, so I had a partial scholarship to begin with in college, and my parents couldn't afford to send me to college, and I didn't want to have debt. I knew enough that debt was not a good thing. So I'm like, there's no freaking way that I'm taking a loan of any kind. This is not happening. I'm going to get jobs. I'm going to get scholarships. I'm going to make it happen. And I did. And like I applied for pretty much every freaking scholarship I could find. Doesn't matter how obscure it is. If I even remotely qualified, I figured I can figure out how to present myself to show that I am sometimes deserving, sometimes a useful recipient of said scholarship. And you know what? It worked. Like things added up. And like I said, eventually, so my second year, I think it was like 80% paid for. My third year, I was 100% paid for. And then my fourth year of university, plus a bit of graduate courses. I was getting paid to go to university because I had so many small scholarships that added up. And I've always been like this, and I always will be like this. And I think that's also kind of why Coacharya, the things that I've contributed to Coacharya, I think have worked because I am stubborn, because I am dogged. And honestly, I will continue taking as a compliment because I think you can't just rely on having universally accepted positive traits. You have to have a balance and that go-getter spirit if you want to be an entrepreneur and if you want to be independent in some way. So, if I had no ambitions to lead a team, to lead a company, then it's perfectly fine to not have that drive. But that's not the case because that doesn't align with who I am. What aligns with who I am is getting stuff done. And there's drawbacks to it, of course. I get that. I've been called unfeeling before. I've had lots of constructive feedback, and I try to take it on board. And I try to grow, and I'm trying always to learn and to change. But at the same time, I'm never gonna take the approach of change exactly who I am because of that kind of feedback, because at the end of the day, like something has worked. And also like I am what I am and I'm comfortable with what I am, and I think I add value to people that I interact with. So that's okay with me. It's okay if not everyone likes me, not everyone thinks that everything I do is great. I'm cool with that.
I love that story. And I really admire the fact that you're like that, because I'm not like that at all. And I think I could afford to be a little more like that. Like I do see myself as resourceful. I do see myself as like I'll figure it out. But yeah, in terms of not wanting to please people, not wanting to change myself because of other people, that's something I want to work
Mm.
on. I want to work on being more myself and going for what I want rather than just letting other voices influence me so much. So I think that's something really cool, and that's something that I feel that has shifted slowly in me, just being around you and
Oh,
just having you in my life. You know,
awesome.
yeah. So I'm curious to know how did you find what did you find about Kocharya that was exciting for you, and that made you say, okay, I wanna like get in there and
Hmm.
just
What I
yeah.
found was potential.
Hmm.
Potential. To me, like that's um yeah. I learned about potential energy in, I guess it was physics, so it would have been second year of high school. And ever since then, it was like things are just getting ready to be converted into, kinetic energy. Like there's so much potential. And I think since then, um, the other side of that coin is there's so much wasted potential. And for me, the most annoying, frustrating thing is waste in every shape and form. And human potential waste, um, to me, is terrible because I've been through situations where I've seen how activating something in me or in another person has resulted in awesome things. So, like, I've witnessed that potential getting turned into kinetic energy, and it's amazing. So, that's what I saw in Coacharya. Um, the kind of full story is that so I've known Ram for a while. I've known him as the father of my friend Pranav in Chicago. And Ram would come visit his kid and his grandkids. Um, and yeah, whenever they were in town, like I would interact with him in some way. And I do remember the first time that I interacted with Ram was actually a coaching session that Pranav convinced me to have. It did not go well. It was at this co-working space called Industrious, and Ram was testing out whether he can do like the create your future type coaching in like a shorter period of time. And it was my first interaction with Ram, and I didn't know him, right? And I remember I thought he was so like, I thought he was cold, and I thought that he was. I was taking everything personally that he was saying. Like he was asking me questions, like he always does, but because my context was so different, I was taking them not very well. I didn't show it too much. I showed it a little bit for sure because he commented about it later to Pranav. um, but yeah, it wasn't the most pleasant experience in general. So, but yeah, I've interacted with, so Pranav and Ram started Coacharya together like 10 years ago almost now. So yeah, didn't start off very well. But then I got to know Ram and Coacharya's the coaching space, I suppose, over the subsequent year and a half. And at the time, I took a job working for a startup, and I was in a very senior role. And that startup had a lot of potential, and that potential got wasted so badly at the end. I'm not going to go into details, but the company basically shut down very quickly. And it was depressing because wasted potential is my big pet peeve. And I met up with Pranav for lunch, and we were eating salads, I think, of all things, sitting on the banks of Chicago River downtown. And he was saying to me how he wants to move on to do something different. And I was like, yeah, I need something too. And he's like, how about you just come work with us? What do you think? And then I asked him to describe to me kind of what, they had talked about Kocharya could become. And as is the case many times with my brain, I tend to make too many connections but not communicate them. So a lot of times someone will say A and I should answer B, but I answer like J, K, or P because like and I learned that's generative thinking. So now I know what it is. But generative thinking is also something that's kind of innate to my brain. So as he was talking about like what is now, my brain was already at what can be in 10 years. And I just wanted to jump in. I'm like, you know what? I can see what your strengths are. You Pranav, you Ram, you Coacharya. And I know what my strengths are. And I also know what has limited me in showing my full potential previously, because I've had enough of good and bad experiences to know how I thrive and where I fall apart and I'm useless and what frustrates me. So I said, yes, let's do it. Here's what I want out of it. If you guys are cool with this, let's go. And they were like, let's do it. And we had a bit of, risk type arrangement. Of course, the Ram and Pranav didn't blindly take me on as the CEO, and it's like, here, just have some part of the company and do it. No, like we had it, everything was done in a business-like manner. But one of my conditions was that I wanted to run, like, and just do stuff, and then I did, and the rest is history. It's been like almost 5 years now. Did I answer your question? What was the question?
Yeah, you did. What was some of the stuff that you wanted to do? What was the potential that you saw? What was the potential that you were excited about?
Initially, I think helping people figure out what they can do through coaching. That was the initial thing. Then it was helping people understand that they themselves can figure things out. And it's funny because I originally thought about the times that I felt stifled and where I felt like I knew what I needed to do, but for whatever reason, I didn't do it. And, I felt pressured into not following the path that I wanted. And so at first, when I thought about coaching, it was like, okay, getting that sense of believing in yourself, that coaching can help you listen to that inner voice, because innately, like we believe with unconditional positive regard, right? We believe that people have it in them to grow, to improve, to be better, to achieve their goals, right? And this was the first time that I saw that articulated, and it made sense to me. And I'm like, oh, I've been on the side of, I thought I knew what to do. Actually, I knew what to do, but I didn't do it. And before, like, I read that as, I just don't want anyone to ever be my manager ever again. Like, I'm not a good employee. I'm very hard to manage. Which is still true. But the other part of it was that is this unleashing of potential, and that self-belief, and that kind of sticking to itness, not being pressured or whatever. So that was kind of the beginning. But then, like, honestly, like every time I learned something new about the world of coaching, and no, I shouldn't say the world of coaching, about coaching as in like the verb and the noun. Every time I learned something, I thought to myself, this has the ability to not just release potential in people, but to build potential in people that can then be released. And it has the potential for people to build potential in other people. It's like the snowball, you know what I mean? So every time I learned about a new concept or about a new opportunity, it's like I'm seeing applications of coaching everywhere. And that's what keeps me excited and keeps me wanting to keep doing new things and, and grow this thing that we're building together, Coacharya, because growth isn't, and potential isn't limited to traditionally, with coaching, people who are wealthy. Let's be honest, right? Either wealthy because on their own volition or because their company wants to invest in them. And that's not a great world to live in. But there's so much potential around us. Doesn't matter where you were born and what education you had or what language you speak or what gender you are or religion or whatever. There's potential everywhere. So like I see coaching as this thing that can release it and build it and spread it. And why would we not want to grow awareness of that? Why would we not want to get people to be able to realize that they have it in them to achieve their goal, no matter how small or big? They just need to be in the right frame of mind. They need to be able to figure out what's standing in their way and just, calmly think through how to overcome that. We all have that capacity. So with Coacharya, little by little, I think we are enabling that for people to realize. And even as I say these words, like I sometimes like hesitate because I don't ever want it to seem like that Coacharya or the coach is the reason why something happens for someone, right? Because it's kind of like the opposite of what I'm trying to say. But you need some kind of spark to
A catalyst.
catalyst, exactly. You need that to release the potential, and I think we are that, and we'll continue being that. And if we can do that for 1 million people, and then each of those 1 million people can do that for 2 people or 10, like all of a sudden,
Yeah, we've changed humanity.
exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's no small thing. It's no small thing for sure.
No, you can literally change the world with this. And I don't mean that in the Silicon Valley tech CEO type people. There's an app for that. Fuck apps. It's human for that, right? It's it's here and it's here and here.
Right. So how do you, when it comes to making decisions, you mentioned Silicon Valley CEOs and people like that. When you're making decisions for Coacharya, I think a lot of people, when they are making their decisions, they tend to go after they'll be happy to kind of put ethics aside for a second and just run with whatever gives them the biggest numbers, and there's questionable things going on there. But Coacharya seems to have made, like, or you seem to have made like right decision after right decision, as with like ethics as your guiding principle. I don't know if that's true or not. I've only been around so long, but it seems like it's really important for us to always do the right thing.
Yep.
To always be right by people.
100%. So I'll separate the things. Have we always made the right decisions? Definitely not. Not infallible, but we've made the right decisions from an ethical perspective. I do think we have. I always do the right thing has been one of my guiding principles my entire life, to a fault, I would say. And I'm proud of that one, actually. It has meant that I've gotten hurt. It has meant that I've missed out on opportunities, but it's more important for me to feel good about having done the thing that I've done than to have won. And I think if we all used our always do the right thing type principle a bit more, we would be in a much happier, peaceful, less cruel world. So definitely believe in always do the right thing. But how do I make decisions? I mean, of course, I look at data, right? Like I'm an analytical person. And I think that's what helps me do the right thing, because I've had that feedback that I'm cold or whatever those words are. But I am analytical. And I think it's a good thing, especially when making bigger decisions, because you need to be able to detach yourself and do the right thing for the company. So I used to, it's funny because like I've transformed so much in the past few years because of coaching, not just necessarily being coached, but just understanding those thought processes and talking to myself and talking myself through stuff, and decision making and being more, detached has been a thing that I've learned, and that has served me well, and I think has served Coacharya well. Because if I get caught up in kind of the emotion of everything, I'm going to get stuck, and I'm going to get frustrated, and I'm going to make decisions based on the wrong inputs. So this might sound a little counterintuitive, right? Like, how can you be ethical while being detached? But when you detach yourself, I think you can be more objective and therefore less judgmental and less biased, and make decisions, yeah, based on facts and based on the principles that you've agreed to follow for yourself, for the company, whatever. So yeah, so when I make decisions, I mean, I do, of course, try to get information that is necessary to make the decision, and I am decisive, and I make it, and I live with the consequences. So I think the biggest lesson, if I have one to pass on to anybody, is that you're going to be wrong, but it's what you do about it is kind of what shows what kind of leader, what kind of person you are. When I'm wrong, I admit it. Frankly, even when I think I'm right, I ask people to please pick apart what I've done or decided, because I don't know what I don't know. And the people that work at Coacharya, that are in our community, we all have different backgrounds, so we're all going to bring something else to the table. And you know what? Like, if somebody brings something up and I think that they are wrong, let's have a discussion about it. But I'm not going to just take it and be like, yeah, you're right. No, I'm going to say, actually, here's what what actual reasoning is, and let's discuss. Or I'm going to say, you know what, you are right. That sucks, crap. Like, how do we fix this? And again, detachment actually helps there, because if I was so attached to my ego and to that decision, then I wouldn't be able to say, oh crap, I'm wrong. How do we fix this? It would always be, no, I was right. And then everyone just goes, well, okay, that doesn't work.
Yeah. I think detachment also just, it allows us to take a beat and respond rather than react, which is again one of the principles, right? One of the bedrock practices that we try to imbibe as coaches and as humans in general, right? Like, as good human beings to be around.
And I still do that too, by the way. So if anyone's watching and they're like, Magda, you react. I know I do. Okay. So no one here is saying that I don't. I know that's a big area of growth for me.
Yeah. For all of us. For all of us, honestly. Yeah. It really is. Yeah. Okay. I think I want to take a hard left turn because we only have a few minutes left. And I want to ask you, aside from being CEO of Coacharya, just outside of all this, who is Magda?
I think everybody knows who that Magda is, because that Magda is very transparent.
She's always here. Yeah. Tell us something we don't know. Like, we know about your pets.
We know about I'm the drunken cat lady auntie. What don't people know? They know about my sewing. They know about, oh God, what don't they know? I don't know what they don't know. Oh, I get very frustrated with instructions. I hate following directions. I hate being told what to do. And when I say I hate, I don't mean that I'm going to leave it inside here and you're not going to see it. It is painful to the point where, if there's IKEA furniture to be assembled, for example, if I purchased it for my room or the house, my sister goes as far away as possible and just lets me deal with it. And this is even though IKEA instructions are very easy and pictorial. She usually will pour me a glass of wine because she's like, this is gonna, numb her a little bit. Doesn't work, actually. And then she runs away. And if she bought something from IKEA type thing, she specifically forbids me from being in the vicinity of when she's putting it together. That's how badly I hate following directions. My map, my GPS, if I ever use one, it's on silent. Because if that woman tells me to turn left in 100 meters one more time, I'm going to smack someone.
All right.
This is getting red and I'm getting the vein.
I can see it.
About following directions.
Oh my gosh, we have to get Nika to get you a glass of wine.
No,
I need to wrap up this session right now.
my God.
It's okay. It's okay.
Does that answer your question, Neha?
It really does. Thank you so much, Magda. That's really interesting. That's really interesting for us to know as well. I think the team is watching. We'll keep this in mind when we want to prank you next. Maybe the joke will be on us.
Yeah.
Just looking at that vein right now.
If you want to give me a heart attack, send me a freaking letter with 10 steps to follow. I will pick out my own eyeballs before I even read it.
Oh my gosh, I think I just sent you an email with like some things that I needed you to action.
That was a to-do list. That's fine.
Okay.
I love to do it. It's another thing I can actually share. So I end up doing multiple to-do lists, and then I have to-do lists of my to-do lists, and I keep rewriting them. And then this is so stupid, but like I color code things, or I put them on post-its. Like I constantly am trying to reinvent what a to-do list looks like for me, and nothing works. But at least when I'm redoing it, I'm becoming re-aware of the thing that I have to do. But I literally have, like, on my desk just here, I have like a clipboard with, I don't know, 10 different pages of 10 different approaches of task lists. So when I keep asking you guys, like on the team, like tell me what to do in terms of what's due, etc., I need that. Because when I say out of sight, out of mind, I mean that. Literally, I spent a couple of days ago, I spent like a good 20 minutes and just got frustrated looking for an unread WhatsApp message. And it was like, it happened to from Louisa. She just wished me Happy New Year. But like all these things just kept, they scrolled down. And I just didn't even know what the heck it was. But the little notification, the little one was really pissing me off. So I kept scrolling and scrolling. And I think I just went past it 10 different times. But yeah, that was like 2 weeks now. This was a couple of days ago. So yeah, 10 days after New Year wishes, I finally saw her message. And it's because, yeah, out of sight, out of mind. So I need to be told what to do in terms of what I need to get done. But if you tell me how to do it, I will murder you.
Yeah, we wouldn't dare. We wouldn't dare.
I will find a way, even though you're in a different country.
Yeah.
I'm going to send the ring girl through TV to get you. Yeah.
Yeah, she's a scary one. I think I would be more scared of her than of death. But anyway.
Then don't tell me how to do anything.
Yeah.
Unless I ask very reluctantly.
Awesome. Thank you, Magda. This has been wonderful. It's been wonderful getting to know you a little bit better on a personal level.
Thanks for having me on my own live.
Sorry, say that again.
Thanks for having me on my own live.
Yeah, you're very welcome. I hope you felt comfortable, like it was your own home.
It is, because it literally is my own home.
Yeah. All right, everyone. We hope you enjoyed getting to know Magda as well. And we'll wrap it up here. You have a lovely day, afternoon, evening, night. Take care. Bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.